What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube. Fuck, I got a cop riding up my ass. Please go past me. See ya. Dude's going like 30 over anyways. I don't have a lot going on. Look, it's been raining so much here. It's rained for a week straight. I think it's just going to continue to rain the rest of the week. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit depressed about it. Right now, I'm in the Porsche and I'm gonna go home and get the M3 and I'm gonna take it up the mountain. I really wanna get some really cool, like mountain-esque, like gloomy pictures of it while it's foggy and rainy. I do get a lot of questions about how I take my pictures, so I'm gonna run you guys through how I edit them and how I put them together. You know, like a Lightroom and Photoshop tutorial of how I do that. So, anyways, let's get right into the video. Okay, look guys, the wing is officially back on the car. I know you guys hate the wing, but I'm only doing it for a couple weeks for content and it'll be back to a naked trunk, which is my favorite look, but the wing is fun. You know, I see all the comments of people getting pissed off about it. It just brings me more content and more engagement. So I'm gonna rock it for a little bit, but it's gonna come back off at some point. What's up, Marv? Isn't it funny how like the test of life is that we don't get to do the things that we love and the things that matter the most to us because they don't have some sort of like monetary value that can help you, you know, acquire the things you need to be happy in life and to survive. Like, that's like the ultimate test. I really do think that if most of us could let go of materialism, like the cars and everything like that, I do think that you could drop that job that you're forced to do in order to survive, and you could focus on what you love, and you could make it happen. I do think that. I think that's a real thing. I got some kid in a V6 Challenger behind me acting crazy. For this car to be made in 2017, dude, people freaking go bananas whenever they see this car still. Like that guy that just went by in that truck. He just did a full U-turn to pull back into the parking lot and then take a picture of the car and then leave. A lot of you people that hate on the car and say it's old and F80s suck and if you had money you would get a G80. Like, you just don't realize, like, there's just something about this car, and once you have one, you just don't want to get rid of it. You just want to buy, like, a newer car and have this car. So, maybe I do need to make more money. We'll figure it out someday, I guess. As of right now, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's my new saying. It is what it is. It is what it is, homie. Alright, I'm gonna try to get some pictures in the road before a car comes, but look how sick this looks. Okay, so this time of year, in this kind of weather, in particular, up here, you gotta be really careful not to step on a venomous snake. We've got 3 kinds of venomous snakes, specifically in this area. They're all North American pit vipers. We've got the Eastern diamondback rattlesnake, which I can about guarantee you're not gonna see one of those. Then we have, even worse, the timber rattlesnake, which, dude, if you got bit by one of those all the way up here, you can almost bet that you're gonna lose a limb. Like, it's bad venom. Then you have the Eastern copperhead, or just a regular copperhead, and their venom is, I mean, it's bad, but, you know, worst case scenario, you get bit by one of those, you have like an allergic reaction. But if you're like a healthy adult, probably gonna just, you know, spend a couple days in the hospital, and it's gonna suck, but you're not gonna lose any limbs or any fingers or anything. So you have to be really, really careful. It's so foggy up here, I feel like you won't even be able to see the car in the pictures, but I hope I can. I hope I can make something really cool, man. Alright, we're on the Viaduct. On a normal day, you see the Blue Ridge mountain range like all the way through there. Today, you just can't see shit. Yo, this is a sick picture right here. Where I live at is just such a vibe, man. I'm really lucky to live here. I just wish there were more like car people here. All of you guys seem to be like in the bigger cities, but like out here is where it's really good to have a cool car. You got all the driving roads. All right, so I stopped on one of the big bridges back there. I didn't film it because I didn't want to take my time. You know, I wanted to get in and out. I did have to run back to my car to get out of the way for another car because you really can't see shit up here. I just can't get over like how sick the car looks like in this environment. Alright, so I think I've got plenty of content. I'm going to head to the house and I'm going to screen record my Lightroom and show you guys how I edit some photos so you can do it to your car. And, you know, whenever it comes to taking pictures, it's not always about like camera quality and such. It's about, I always say this, I'm not the best photographer or videographer. I just film and take a lot of pictures, and a lot of times I just get really lucky. I would say a day like today where it's really foggy and moody looking, it's gonna give me a better start to start editing. So like sunsets, sunrises, rain, clouds, those sort of things, when it looks a certain way outside that's special, that's whenever you really want to do it the most to get the best picture quality. Alright, so now I'm screen recording. I've got Lightroom pulled up, I've got the picture I want to edit, and you can see this is what the picture looks like raw out of the camera. So first, what I like to do is I like to come over here, move this over a little bit. I like to look at some of the presets. It'll analyze, if you have this version of Lightroom, you can analyze the photo and it'll actually recommend it to you. I like to go over here to the cinematic presets. And some of them are just like, obviously I don't want this, or like something like that right there looks perfect to me. Or this one, it's a good starting place. I still edit these photos. I don't just throw a filter on them and call it a day. So I really like this one, but I don't like how it's taken the car and made it from kind of a, it's made it more of a silver color than a blue color. So I'm gonna do this one just because it'll be a little bit more of a challenge. So I love the way that looks. It looks very movie-like, very cinematic. I'm gonna zoom in here. Okay, so first off, you can see over here, this is what the filter has done to the photo. Let's go back up here. So our exposure's just a little bit less. I'm actually going to turn it up just a tad, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little bit more contrast to it. So this highlights column right here, it usually, if you turn it down a lot, you can see it gives you more color. Gives you a little bit less exposure. So I usually like to turn that way down, sometimes all the way down. Shadows is turned up because you can see with it turned less, it gets darker. So I'm going to turn shadows up, but not as up as it had it for this preset. Whites, I'm going to turn that down. Usually that helps me. Here, let me get rid of that. Usually that helps me with these little parts here on the headlights. The DRLs, I can make them look so much more clear. Over here, obviously we have some raindrops on the camera lens as I'm taking the picture. We can clean those up, but actually since I was in the rain taking the pictures, I don't mind it. It's actually kind of a cool effect. So I've got the whites turned all the way down. I'm gonna turn them up just a little bit. So this, if you turn this down, the blacks, you can see how much of a difference that makes. So they had it turned all the way up. I'm going to turn it down just a tad. Now, here is where I like to really make a picture stand out, and I'll show you how I do it. So you see the texture here, I'm going to leave that there the way it is for right now, but the clarity, I am going to turn this all the way up. You can see the dehaze is a really good tool. That's what it looks like pretty much back at zero. So dehaze, we're going to turn that up pretty high. I don't know if I want any vignetting on the photo, so we'll test it out. A little bit of white looks kind of cool. Maybe a little bit of black. I'm going to turn it down to -8. So grain, sometimes you do want, with this tool, if you know what you're doing, you can really make a photo look kind of vintage. I don't want to do that on this photo. I want a really high quality photo, so I'm going to turn the grain all the way down. So you can see my clarity is up very high, but we're going to fix that and make this photo look like glass with this little luminance button right here. So this right here, it takes the picture and gives it that magazine poster type of quality, which I like in the photo. So here, now that I've got my luminance turned up more than halfway, I'm going to turn up just a little bit more. You can actually add some detail to the luminance there. So just to bring some of the features back out, we'll take some of the sharpening. We'll turn that up. It's up to 37. Now I like to mess with the texture. Texture can make or break a photo in my opinion. So turn the texture up, see what that does. It's very textury. Let's turn it down. Let's turn it down to about 40 here. And see, that looks good to me. Once you zoom in on this, you can see how clear and clean the photo is. You almost want it to look kind of fake. My pictures, especially when I do, more than cell phone pictures, whenever I'm taking out my camera, I want this to look like something you could see like on a big canvas in a dealership. That's kind of the thing I'm going for. So that is pretty good, the settings there. Now what I want to do is, like I said, I love the way that this filter actually changed the background here. I want it to look foggy, I want it to look kind of dull, but the car I've got to do some work on. So over here we can do some masking, and right now I'm actually going to start with a subject. So you can see here, it knows that the car is there. So that is our first subject. So now I can actually make the blues of the car stand out a little bit more. I'm going to turn the exposure up, turn the contrast back a little bit. Like I said, this highlights button, usually on most photos, especially on a sunny day, it will make the picture's colors pop a little bit more. But I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Turn shadows up. I don't want everything blurred out on the car, just too dark. Whites and blacks I'm gonna leave right there. So what I really like to do is now I can actually take the saturation and turn it up just a tad. So you can see now I have that Yasmarina blue popping again, and that's what I really like. So simple as that. That works really good. Now I want to do one more. Let's see here. I want to add another one, but I want to do a brush. So what I like to do with my brush here is I really like to color on these headlights. That way I can get a really defined look out of the DRLs, and especially since it was raining and there's water droplets on there, especially on that left head, or the passenger side headlight. It looks very blurry just because of the rain. So I can actually fix that up just a little bit. But first, let's see here. So I'm gonna paint over this headlight, try to get it as good as I can, and then I'm gonna do this side over here too, which once you're in here, it won't really let you move and zoom in on the object, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, so now that I've got that, let's see what we can do. I want to turn the exposure down just a little bit, really get more of the black parts of the headlights to pop. Contrast, you can see, just makes them look a little bit more defined. We can turn that all the way up. Highlights, doesn't really do a lot, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. Shadows, turn those down or turn them up. You can see, if you look really close, it really makes the black in the headlight pop. So now we got whites, and what this is gonna do, you can see the silver parts of the headlight, and the DRL is going to pop just a little bit more, see? But over there on that other side, it really just kind of illuminates the water droplets a little bit too much, so I'm not gonna turn it up a ton. The blacks, you can see right there, that does a whole lot, so we are gonna turn the blacks down quite a bit. And turn the clarity up just a tad, dehaze, and as you can see now, the headlights are just, they're popping on this photo. They look so much better. And that really is, I don't like to do nothing too crazy with my photos. That is a photo that will probably get thousands of likes on Instagram over time. I've noticed, for whatever reason, like a photo like this, they don't do well in one day. They're not like a cell phone picture. A good cell phone picture in the driveway will get a lot of likes in one day. These are ones that I'll be noticing notifications for months, and next thing you do, you know, you look at it and it's got 10,000 likes. So this is a great photo, and I hope that this helped. Look guys, if you need more information on how to kind of edit, I do videography, photography, and you know, I'm sure you've seen from some of my higher quality videos that are not vlogs that I'm pretty good at videos too. So maybe soon I can do kind of a video tutorial. Molly, what are you sniffing? Come here. Look, say hey to the, oh, no. All right, anyways guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.